I'm going to talk about people migrating to Australia. My study is actually on people who moved from the late 60s to the early 90s. So that will be the focus of the longer term experiences. People have been there 20 plus years. But obviously migration to Australia from New Zealand is still happening, and it's still a current issue. In terms of how many New Zealanders live in Australia, I think it's about 500,000, and I think there's about 100,000 Maori, but that's very rough. This year it's definitely been slowing. We've had some of the lower months in recent years in terms of net loss to Australia, and that's because there's slowing economy over there, but also perhaps more opportunities, especially in Christchurch with the rebuild. In the past, the movement of migration from New Zealand to Australia has definitely been cyclical, so there's been peaks every 10 years, and that's happened over about 5 decades. So I would predict that probably that will continue, that it will continue to be cyclical, and of course it depends on the economy in both countries as well. The state of the Australian mining industry, it's very much a bust and boom industry, so opportunities come and go in cycles, and at the moment it is experiencing a downturn, and it's harder for Kiwis to get jobs over there unless they perhaps have a specific profession or have really good contacts within the industry. I've had a few media releases over the past year or two about New Zealand migration to Australia, and it's surprised me how much response there is. I think one of the things that surprised me the most was when the Australian media, the radio stations and newspapers really picked up on some small comment I'd made about New Zealanders being teased for their accent by Australians. So I think Australians love that sort of social side of it, whereas from New Zealand perhaps we're more interested in, fears of a brain drain or the economic impact.